This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Southern primary and intermediate teachers and principals have taken strike action today. The truckie who saw a double fatal accident near Kingston says that part of State Highway 6 is a nightmare. And a first-time animal fosterer, Jess Cripps, is thrilled to be opening up her home to a family of felines. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Dunedin primary and intermediate teachers and principals have held a 5-minute silence in the Octagon as part of their strike action. Around 600 teachers and principals met at the Regent Theatre this morning to discuss the Ministry of Education's latest pay offer.
Over 1,000 Dunedin primary and intermediate teachers and their supporters gathering in the Octagon today to protest against the Ministry of Education's latest pay offer. They held a 5-minute silence aimed at emphasising the point: actions speak louder than words. The $698 million pay offer is an increase of $129 million from the previous one, but teachers continue to say it's not about the money.
But there's more and more students arriving in schools with needing needs, whether they be behavioural, learning, social, emotional, and there's just not the resource in there from the government or the ministry to support those kids.
We've said this all the way through. It is not just about the money. It's about time for our teachers to teach and time for our principals to lead, and having that support that they need in their classrooms.
Other meetings were held around the south this morning. North Otago primary teachers filled the ODT Ink Box in Oamaru before a planned march through the town's central business district. 80 teachers and principals from the extended South Otago region gathered in Balclutha to discuss their options, while about 50 teachers from the Upper Clutha gathered at the Lake Wanaka Centre this morning before marching through the streets of the town centre.
They're basically shaping the future of our nation, and in this town you can get paid more for cleaning than you can for teaching.
And about 60 Central Otago teachers held a union meeting in Alexandra before walking to Pioneer Park.
Obviously there's the few that say why are we striking and still question it, but overall the majority are very positive in supporting the campaign.
The week of nationwide rolling strikes wrap up in the capital tomorrow. The South Today.
A person who was trapped in a vehicle after it crashed off a bridge north of Haast last night has died. Police say emergency services were called to the scene on the Haast Highway at the Moiraki River Bridge. They say 3 people managed to get out of the vehicle safely, but 1 had remained trapped. Fire services and ambulance were also in attendance, and a helicopter from Greymouth arrived at the scene around 8:30. The serious crash unit has been notified. And the truckie who witnessed a horror double fatal accident near Kingston says the nightmare stretch of State Highway 6 is one of New Zealand's most dangerous roads. Gore truck driver Bruce Moffat still struggling to come to terms with seeing the crash on November the 1st between a car and a bus, which left 2 Americans dead.
The scene of a double fatality earlier this month on State Highway 6 near Kingston after a tourist bus collided with a car. 23-year-old passenger Spencer Dow died at the scene. The car driver, a fellow 23-year-old American, died a week later in hospital. Truck driver Bruce Moffat was driving from Gore to Queenstown when he saw the car going under the bus right by his window. He says the aftermath has been horrendous.
The hardest bit is to be involved in an accident that you haven't actually been hit, but have a witness right outside your door.
He called emergency services, but by the time he got to the car it was too late for the passenger.
It's a very hard thing to shake off, to know how close it was to being the end of your own life, really. It's made me very nervous. And
2 weeks before the crash, he just missed another head-on collision on the Devil's Staircase that left Kingston resident Harpreet Singh dead. He says dangerous driving on the stretch of road is constant, and he's calling for better driver education.
It's probably one of the most dangerous roads in New Zealand to come off especially off a plane from overseas and not used to it, and then drive down that road. It's just something that I've never ever seen before.
He drove the route for the first time since the crash last Wednesday and says it wasn't easy.
If I'm having trouble when I'm driving now, if I get a fright on the road, which is quite constant, I'll definitely just pull over and stop. And yeah, it's just not that easy to cope with.
He says the crash has changed his outlook on life and he's urging Kiwi drivers as well as tourists to take extra care on the notorious stretch. In Queenstown, the South Today.
The warm, settled weather New Zealand has enjoyed for the past few days is set to leave us with a stormy cold front, likely to bring heavy rain and snow to the south. This week has seen temperatures in the high 20s across New Zealand, and an unofficial recording had Mosgiel at over 30 degrees today. But next week is set to begin with cold southerlies and snow, with the Met Service saying heavy rain is possible in parts of the south. Snow could also affect higher roads, and the southerly will also bring strong winds to the whole of the east coast. A first-time animal fosterer is thrilled to be opening up her home to a family of felines. Dunedin woman Jess Cripps is encouraging more people to take the step as the SPCA prepares for kitten season.
Dunedin woman Jess Cripps with a few new additions to her household. She's taken on the role of fostering these newborn felines as the SPCA prepares for kitten season.
I love them, but I can't have any more, so I thought, if I can just help raise some kittens and go off onto really good forever homes.
The season lasts from now until March next year. The SPCA is looking for families for up to 100 kittens to help them recover from surgery or become socialised and used to a home environment. It supplies all food, medicine, bedding and toys to make them comfortable. Jess is currently fostering 10-month-old cat Leah and her 3 kittens, Betty, Jack and Sally.
This is Jack. This is the same, looks exactly the same as his sister. You got something in your eye. What have you got in your eye? What's that?
She'll look after them until they can be de-sexed, and although they've only just opened their eyes, the kittens are already developing personalities.
They've just started really moving around in the last couple of days, so their personalities will start coming out really well within the next week. But this one here's a little Sammy. She's always seemed to be quite confident.
Dunedin SPCA says it has a limited amount of space in its centres, and they rely on fosterers to offer temporary homes, generally from 2 to 6 weeks. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, house prices are still increasing in some areas, and we have a look at an on-farm cattle show in the southern region.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
It's always really satisfying when a customer comes back after doing a purchase of outdoor furniture and knowing that we've got it done right.
Risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. Petrol prices getting you down? Keep the smile on your dial with an e-bike grin from Electrify NZ on Cumberland Street. For an average $2,000 savings per year, why wouldn't you? Book a test ride today.
It's that time of year. It's time to get into the garden, and it's time to get your weed eater. Down here at the Power Garden Department at Andersons Bay Road, this year it's all about the cordless weed eater. come down and see us at Mitre 10 Mega and we'll help you get it done right.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Spring is here and it's time to get in the garden. Ready Lawn will take care of your lawn needs, making Lawn Care a snap. They will install the perfect lawn while you plant your favourite flowers and vegetables. Call Ready Lawn today so you can enjoy the coming season.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Get on down to Alex Campbell Menswear for the November shirt sale. That's buy one shirt, get one free. You heard right. Buy one shirt, get one free to the same or lesser value. That's the November shirt sale only on at
Alex Campbell Menswear. It fits.
Welcome back. Southern regional medium house prices have taken off again, with Otago and Dunedin hitting record prices. The average price in Otago is now $480,000, while in Dunedin it's just over $430,000. REINZ regional commentator Liz Nidd says continued demand across Dunedin has helped push prices up 15%. The national median price in October rose 6% to a record $562,000 compared with October last year. South Otago AMP Society is taking a different approach to their cattle section this year, prompting a southern dairy farm to hold its own open day recently, as larger events are on hold due to Mycoplasma bovis.
A South Otago farmer who is passionate about cattle and competing with them is helping to teach youth the art of stockmanship.
Husband and I own this farm and run the farm. We have one full-time staff member, basically milking just under 400 cows for a 40-a-side herringbone, mainly Holstein Friesians, with a few Ayrshire's as well, but also we've got quite a beef interest.
The Button family have been involved with showing cattle since 2003. However, this year, due to the Mycoplasma bovis eradication scheme, things are being done a bit differently. And last Sunday, they hosted their very own calf day.
Because we can't have the actual competitive competitions with lots of farmers coming together with cattle, we thought, well, why don't we just have cattle from one farm? And so we invited the children to the farm to just lead here today, and then all those calves will then go into the show. So it's only coming from one farm. There's not the disease issues or the spread of disease risk the same, and the kids are still getting to have a go.
Katie thinks it's an important skill for children to learn how to work with animals, and it was more than just learning to lead a calf.
Just to learn stockmanship skills, that bonding. For any farmer, it's, why do we farm? It's because we love our animals, and just doing that showing does help with that a little bit. Just learning how to handle them, how to put a halter on properly. You've got to do a lot of feed and preparation, so it's just all good stockmanship skills which leads on into farming.
The handling day also gave those who had never even led a calf the opportunity to do so.
The great thing about today is we've actually had children come that have never led before, so it's hopefully sparked a new passion within them to have a go, and they're all, we had 14 today, was it, I think, in the end. They're all coming to the AMP show on the 24th to lead their calves.
Katie hoped that events like this would help make sure the tradition of cattle showing was kept alive.
Well, that's the other important thing this year, because of the M. bovis eradication scheme. Just doing this day has helped keep things going. Hopefully this is just 1 year that we're not going to have the proper shows, but this is just keeping that going, and there's still going to be cattle at the show, so the general public will still get to see cows.
Although it was a big job to get the calves ready and host the day, Katie enjoyed being able to share her passion.
Well, they're pets to us as well as our livelihood. So you can make your hobby your livelihood as well. I suppose that's another way of...
Why do you love doing it?
Because I do like cattle. I don't know, it's just... Lots of people have their own passions. Some people are dog people. I'm probably quite a cow person. I just enjoy my cattle. And all, you know, dairy, beef, you know, whatever. Good cow, you just can't look past it.
In Dunedin for The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, we have the final part in our series marking 100 years since the end of World War I. And we check out the weather going into the weekend, so stay with us.
Active interior designer Mornington are the curtain and blind experts. The team can even advise you on outdoor products and will ensure that everything is perfect. For interior design with flair, call Active to book your free in-home consultation or call into the showroom in Mornington.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren. His Garrador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
I just like it. It's something that you can see the fruits of your own labour. You put it right now, you don't have as much to do at Christmas. You come see me, Derek, in the garden department, and then we get it done right.
Get on down to Alex Campbell Menswear for the November shirt sale. That's buy one shirt, get one free. You heard right. Buy one shirt, get one free to the same or lesser value. That's the November shirt sale only on at
Alex Campbell Menswear. It fits.
Petrol prices getting you down? Keep the smile on your dial with an e-bike grin from Electrify NZ on Cumberland Street. For an average $2,000 savings per year, why wouldn't you? Book a test ride today.
Hello, it's Jeremy down here at Mitre 10 Nega in Andersons Bay. We've got 35 different lawnmowers down in our power garden department. We've got ride-on mowers, petrol mowers, battery operated mowers, push mowers. Did you know we've even got a robot, a little robot lawnmower that pops out during the day when you're at work or play. It'll pop out and mow your lawn. So come down and see me, Jeremy, down in the power garden department at Mitre 10 Nega in Andersons Bay Road, where we'll help you get it done right first time.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Thanks for staying with us. This month marks 100 years since the guns fell silent on the battlefields of World War I. The signing of the armistice put an end to 4 years of fighting, although the legacy of the war is still being felt today. Tonight we bring you the third and final part in our series, looking at the challenges soldiers faced on returning to New Zealand, told by three of Dunedin's most prominent historians.
About 100,000 served from New Zealand, from a population of just over 1 million. So, you know, it's an extraordinary percentage. And 50% of those 100,000 were either killed or wounded or died of sickness or were missing, which meant effectively killed. So, yeah, I mean, it affected the whole country enormously.
People didn't really want to know what they'd gone through, you know, and so there's a great degree of amnesia involved in our society. You know, we put that war behind us, and yes, you suffered, that's fine, and we understood the time, but let's get on with things and look ahead.
Beyond that, there wasn't really a lot of training. If you were badly wounded, then you might do basket weaving and things like that, which some of the men felt, you know, was an insult to their masculinity. Others took advantage of it and came right again through it. And of course, here in Dunedin, if you had terrible face wounds, then you were in one of the pioneer spots of plastic surgery in the world, partly because of that combo of dental school and medical school here. And so the foundation dean of the dental school, Herbert Pickerell, was able to you know, have quite a big impact through his work in plastic surgery, and of course Harold Gillies as well.
One of his pupils was the chief plastic surgeon in the Second World War, and it was his job to rebuild faces and everything of particularly RAF pilots who'd been burnt. And so, you know, the lessons learned from the First World War were developed and applied in the Second World War.
So in some ways, those guys, terrible as their wounds were better off than those that didn't look as if they'd been damaged. And that's the whole hidden thing that no one's ever really got at very much.
But I think we're quite well served by a lot of the historical work that's been done in this war commemorative period, you know, in all sorts of quite inventive ways.
Because the crosses down there at the moment, I mean, you know, there's 3,988 of those, and that's just for Otago and Southland alone.
So we don't know who the great leaders of the mid-20th century would have been, and the direction they might have taken. Every country could have been quite different, but we lost them, and we don't know now what would have happened with their contribution.
I argue with my students that perhaps it pushed both gender and race relations back about a generation, because it took a while to sort all that out. And certainly the soldiers wanted to go backwards, not forwards, to the lovely country that New Zealand was before, in comparison with what they'd experienced in Turkey and the Western Front.
There's a lot of talk about New Zealanders becoming a nation and that sort of stuff on Gallipoli, just like Australia, but I disagree with that. I think New Zealanders were a distinct nationality long before Gallipoli, through various other reasons, and that Gallipoli and other events just confirmed our nationality and the pride in being a New Zealander rather than an immigrant from Britain or from Ireland or from wherever.
I think people are a wee bit sick of it all now, and we haven't had to do anything. We haven't had to face endless casualty lists in the newspapers every week and people we know, you know, having suffered these close losses. We haven't had to do any of that. But even so, it seems like it's been going on a long time, this war commemoration. So at the time, it must have just been completely something that you were just over.
During the Second World War, a very good Southland writer called Dan Davin was for a while an intelligence officer with the New Zealand Division, and someone asked him how long the war would last, and he replied, for the rest of our lives.
The sort of shadow of the two wars goes deep into the 20th century in New Zealand, and but what the exact legacy is for a whole lot of people to work out very slowly and carefully.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Primary and intermediate teachers and principals held a 5-minute silence in the Octagon as part of their strike action. The truckie who witnessed a horror double fatal accident near Kingston says that part of State Highway 6 is a nightmare. And a first-time animal fosterer, Jess Cripps, is thrilled to be opening up her home to a family of felines, helping the SPCA coming into kitten season. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome Hayden Meikle.
Hello Melissa.
Hello, what have you got for us in tomorrow's ODT?
A few interesting things in the newspaper tomorrow, as always. Dunedin City Council, when aren't they interesting?
They're investigating a possible new energy source which could help provide some cost-effective heating for big users in the city. Really interesting story, this.
Fascinating. I can't wait to read that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Bus Hub news. And
More Bus Hub?
Who doesn't get excited about Bus Hub news? There's some Bus Hub news tomorrow, and guess what?
What?
Watch this space. I'm going to leave you hanging there. The teacher strike.
Yeah.
Obviously, the teacher strike. Big news around the entire south today, and we've got full coverage of that. Great photos from across the entire district. Very topical, very newsy for all of us, whether we're fans of teachers or wondering what to do with our 10-year-old son on their day off. So always big news, what the teachers are up to.
There was definitely a lot more people at the supermarket today.
Yeah, funny that, with kids in tow, no doubt, I suspect. And a really interesting story, Jimmy's Pies, obviously a fairly iconic thing in the south. Some big news for lovers of Jimmy's Pies. And I better not give it away, but let's just say if you're in Dunedin and you love a good greasy Jimmy's mutton pie, might not be the best news for you in tomorrow's ODT.
So we're going to find out all of that in tomorrow's ODT. Thank you, Hayden. And now it's time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Tonight's southern view is of a suburban dog walker and her flock. Looking at the situation, a trough of low pressure will bring a rainy day to the region tomorrow with cold southeasterly airflow. Conditions should improve on Saturday, but more cold weather is on the way from Sunday into early next week. Looking at the southern towns, Catlins, Balclutha, Gore and Lumsden, fresh southeasterlies, rain and 11-degree highs for all of you. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes area, expect moderate northwesterlies, variable winds, a few showers for Wanaka where your high should be 14, moderate southeasterlies, rain and 10 degrees for Queenstown, rain also for Alexandra where it should reach 11, and Tiana expect rain and a high of just 10. Looking at the northern towns, moderate southwesterlies, showers later, 15 for Timaru. Oamaru, you're also in for rain and 13 degrees, while Twizel and Amarama are both set to reach 14 degrees and expect showers. And in Dunedin, cloudy tonight with showers developing around dawn, with an overnight low of 12. Cloudy tomorrow with periods of light rain and moderate cold southerly winds, with a high of 13 and a low of 10. Showers clearing on Saturday morning and a few sunny periods possible during the afternoon. Expect moderate northeasterlies, more rain developing on Sunday, looking at a high of 14 and a low of 9. And in Invercargill, rain tonight with an overnight low of 9. Cloudy tomorrow with periods of rain and colder fresh southeasterlies, developing a high of 12 and a low of 8. It will remain cool on Saturday with showers clearing and light southerlies. There's also a silver lining though, with some sunny periods sneaking in throughout the day. Look at a high of 13 and a low of 8 degrees. That wraps up our news for this Thursday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz, channel39.co.nz, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Welcome to Southern Attraction.
$250,000 cheque towards the hospital rebuild. The money is set to go to the medical centre within the hospital and rest home complex. A Queenstown company has kitted out a 1950s armoured truck to impress tourists and residents at public events. Adventure tourism operator Go Orange has unveiled Frank the Tank after months of hard work to make the old combat vehicle road legal. Still to come after the break on Southern Newsweek. Isn't it meant to say coming up after the break?
Yeah, I'll fix that.
Yeah, cool. So I should update?
I'll go and do it now.
Yeah, so it's coming up after the break. And do you want me to look up and down after them so it's easier to edit?
Yeah, it gives me a good out.
Okay, cool. I'll do that. Still to come after the break on the Southern Newsweek. Coming up after the break on Southern Newsweek, former Channel 9 news presenter Sean Summerfield gets a new job driving supercars, and regular exercise is employed in the fight against diabetes. Welcome back, former Channel 9 news presenter and more recently former News Hub motorsport reporter Sean Summerfield may have the best car job in New Zealand. The Girl Trap Group's head of communications and self-confessed car geek certainly looks like he does, and he helps orchestrate the arrival of 10 supercars into Highlands Motorsport Park in Cromwell. A man who allegedly smashed a windscreen and punched another motorist, causing him to collapse in a Dunedin road rage incident 2 weeks ago, remains at large. Police, and do you want me to look down after RVOs?
Yeah, it's just...
just to do a pause, a slight pause.
It's just long enough for me to see. Also, one more thing. When you talk and then you go to do a read or you've made a mistake or something, just pause slightly longer than you normally do, because sometimes you talk and then go straight into it.
Okay, yep, cool. Yeah, just whatever makes it easier for you. So look down, RVO. Police say the man hasn't yet been located and inquiries are ongoing. The man is understood to be known to police. The incident unfolded when police received a report about a serious assault in Taieri Road. The victim had been repeatedly assaulted but was conscious and able to speak. A group of people with type 2 diabetes took part in a virtual walking, cycling and rowing trip from Dunedin to Invercargill, all in the comfort of their local gym. The event was organised in recognition of World Diabetes Day. A yellow-eyed penguin nesting area along the Otago coast at Moeraki has received a makeover in preparation for this year's breeding season. A Penguin Place staff member puts... Okay. I just haven't read through the ones through the end, but I'll do a quick read through and then do them. Is that in the way? You having a good day, Rudy?
No. Let me know when you're ready to go. And then we'll...
Okay, I'm ready. Is that?
Oh, are you ready? Okay.
Is that? Yeah.
Well, I just thought you were going to rehearse a bit more.
No, that's fine. Let's go.
Okay, great.
In this edition of Southern Newsweek, thousands gather around the south to mark the centenary of the Armistice Day. Arborists show off their tree climbing skills in Dunedin's Museum Reserve, and a $250,000 cheque is donated towards the rebuild of Maniatoto Hospital.
Right.
Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Thousands of people gathered around the south last Sunday to mark the centenary of the armistice that ended World War I. More than 18,000 New Zealand troops died during the war to end all wars, with the country sustaining its greatest losses in the final year.
Can we do it again? During the war to end all wars.
Okay.
Yep. Take two.
Okay.
Do it two, Simon. Yep.
Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Thousands of people gathered around the south last Sunday to mark the centenary of the armistice that ended World War I. More than 18,000 New Zealand troops died during the war to end all wars, with the country sustaining its greatest losses in the final year.
Right. Next.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. Last Sunday's Armistice Day celebrations were not just held in the region's larger towns. Among the many rural towns observing the conclusion of the war to end all wars were Greymouth and Milton. A group of keen arborists have spent last weekend pitting their tree climbing skills against each other in Dunedin. The event was held as part of the New Zealand Arboricultural Association's National Conference, with the winners set to represent the country on the world stage.
We'll move on.
Okay. The Maniatoto Lions Club and Ranfurly Maniatoto Pakeke have presented a $250,000 cheque towards the hospital rebuild. The money is set to go to the medical centre within the hospital and rest home complex.
Right.
A Queenstown company has kitted out a 1950